As we talked about in my front splitter installation video, just want to do a real quick video on Dr. ColorChip for you. I don't know if you guys have used it or seen it, but it really is a pretty slick paint system repair kit. With these kits, let me look here. This one is not for my Corvette. It's actually, I think, one I bought for my motorcycle. But I think everything's in this one. I'll show you real quick. We open it up. Yeah, perfect. So, in the kit, it comes with a little rubber glove that you can use for applying the paint. Basically what you do is you put a little bit of paint on the spot or on your finger, rub it over, let it dry for a few minutes, and then there's a solution that you use to remove the paint from the car surface. So this is what typically would come in one of the kits. As you can see here, it does say Harley. So yeah, this is the one I bought for my black Street Glide. So the kits come with whatever paint color you need. If you look up on their site, you can look up your vehicle and paint code, and they'll send you an exact match. So it comes with step one, which is a paint, a little applicator brush if you need it, and then this is the blending solution. So this is what you use after the paint dries. You take and put this on a cloth and rub it nice and gently over the top of the paint, and it'll take any of the residual paint off of your actual paint, but leave the paint behind that you just applied in the rock chip. So those are the products that come with it. The other thing that comes with it typically is a little applicator cloth like this. As you can see, this one's pretty dark and dirty because I've used it quite a few times on my motorcycle already. You can buy extras of these. Here's a clean one that I've purchased. So let's see here. So for my car, as you can see, I've done a few on the front of my car already. I'll show you a little video of how to apply the paint, let it dry, and rub it off. I have found that it does take a few different applications. You can, if you do it once, obviously it'll fill it in and you won't see whatever color's underneath, but you're not going to have a real nice transition between your good paint and this paint. So I have found the more times you do the process, the better end product you get. So I bought this kit last year about this time probably. I don't know if you can see in here, but the paint is definitely settled in there. When you get it new from the factory, you definitely want to make sure it's good and shaken up as well. But so first things first, I would say shake this bottle a good minute or more just to make sure your paint and oil and everything that's in here is blended well. So it's actually got a little mixing ball in there that you can hear. So I'll get this shook up and show you how to apply it. Alright, I think this is pretty well focused. Hopefully it'll remain in focus. So as you can see here, we got a couple little rock chips here, and then actually there's a small one up here. I've got the paint all shooken up. Got my nice black rubber glove on that came with this. So basically what the box says to do, which seems to work okay, what you want to do is you want to take a blob of paint and put it next to your problem spot. So I'm going to take this little brush that came with it, put a little blob here, and put a little blob here, and then what they want that you do is basically take your finger and smear it across. We'll throw a little more on there. You can kind of see that we got a little yellow color there now on the white fiberglass or plastic, whichever this piece might be. I have found that smearing works, but it seems like the more you smear it, the more times you got to do the process. So what I've found through doing this is you want to try to get the spot covered up and keep the paint as thin as possible so that when you wipe it off it isn't as much of a process. So I think for this one we'll go about with that. So I'll show you here. We'll let this dry. Box says 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It should be pretty much dry enough to be able to start using the solution. Obviously the thicker the paint you have on there, the longer it's going to take. But if you have just a thin layer, it should dry pretty quickly. So we'll let this dry, and then I'll be back to show you the process of wiping it off. Okay, hopefully looks like that's pretty clear. So now for the wipe off process. Key here is take your seal act, step 2, shake it up good, just like you did the paint. Doesn't need to be shaken quite as much as the paint, but then you want to take your white little towel that they provide you, put probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 drops on here. Alright, and once you do that, the key is don't rub real hard. You want to just rub nice and gently. The intent is to get the paint off of the painted surface, but to keep it inside the rock chip. So if you press too hard, you'll take it right out of there. So basically just go over the surface and just keep buffing nice and softly until you start to see that paint come off the surface. So obviously down here on this lower portion probably doesn't have to be as good. We'll do a few times on it, probably try to get it filled in so at least it isn't real noticeable. If you do have any rock chips up on your nose of your car or anywhere else that's a little more visible, you may want to do it a few more times. Make sure that you're getting that as blended as possible. It's not going to be a perfect finish, never going to look like a new paint job, but I know some of that I've done have filled in pretty well, and you have a hard time telling that the chip is there unless you look real close. Alright, still see a little bit there, but most of it is off of the painted surface. Keep doing this a couple more times. As you can see, the yellow paint is staying inside the rock chips currently. You can definitely see a difference between the actual paint and the filled in color here, but again, the more times you do this, that will get less and less obvious. Alright, looks like that got it to the point of all of the paint that was on the painted surfaces gone, so we'll go ahead and do this again. But that's the process. Like I said, the more times you do it, the better final project you'll get. So I guess my main advice would be patient with it and take your time and do it as many times as you are willing to put the effort in. Alright, hopefully you can see this halfway well. Not absolutely perfect, but sure makes it a lot better. I just did 3 quick applications of the Dr. ColorChip, so you do more, it would go away even more. But so I don't know if you can see here, but here's where the spot was, and then there was one small spot here that I filled in as well. Definitely hides it unless you are really looking for it. It's not going to jump right out at you. Hope that helps, gives you some information on Dr. ColorChip. I would definitely highly recommend it.